Show them we can rise from ash. Jade, Lavender, and Scarlet Phoenix power. Together we will rise. They tried to burn us, we bloom like a flower. They didn't know we had a Phoenix's power. Phoenix power.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jade Phoenix. We're back. How was everybody's Valentine's Day out there in the Phoenix Nation? And if you didn't have a Valentine's Day, how did you enjoy Singles Awareness Day? Or hell, maybe you had a Galentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed our last episode, and we're back. And honestly, we are going a little bit ham with this one because it's going to be touching
100%.
on a few subjects that, like, kind of hit a little bit close to home because it benefits us, but at the same time, we don't want you to do it. But
Yeah, the double-edged sword, really.
it is. But on that note, since you hear that beautiful dulcet tones, it's our Lavender.
It all started when I was born.
Hello, everyone.
How have you been, Loca?
I know. Oh, where the hell have I been, Jacob?
I
It
don't.
was a great weekend. I'm so happy that we got to share some fun Valentine's Day lore with you all last week.
Yes, blessed
And get ready to
Saturnalia.
dive in to some crazy, I wouldn't even say crazy shit, but the reality of living in an internet-forward world this week.
Yeah. But also, I'm actually in a different nest. I'm in the Griffin's nest this week. Our Lavender is out
Ooh.
there in the ether, but I'm actually sitting in the Griffin's nest for once. And that's, where we're going to
Fancy.
introduce Crimson.
How's it going, everyone?
Thank you for having me in your nest.
Of course.
This is an experimentation because honestly, the Phoenix nest is the home base, but sometimes we have internet problems. And by sometimes I mean all the time. So
Yeah, the bandwidth likes to, tease us when we're trying to get work done.
it's not good. It's not
It's
good.
not good.
And then one of us ends up suffering, and usually it is Crimson because he's all the way down here in the Griffin's nest in Jersey.
Yeah.
Boo! Well, actually, I shouldn't say boo. We actually had a really good time with you in the Griffin's Nest this
Yes.
past weekend as well.
Or at least the territory, the Griffin's territory.
the
Hey,
territory
baby.
of the Griffin's Nest.
You had a good time. We actually, I would love to talk about our Valentine's Day weekend real quick to do just a quick recap.
Oh, absolutely.
So for Valentine's Day proper, what did everybody do? Because I could tell you the horror story that happened to me, if y'all like.
I mean, I'm always down for a horror story.
So, I mean,
Maybe
considering
we prime them with some spooks first.
considering the fact that we literally did talk about the darker side of Valentine's Day and its lore, it kind of seems like it was a little fitting that I had a nightmare.
Yeah, that's true.
It was not a good time for me. DigiNan decided to, take me out to dinner and, tried his best. Let's not get this fucking twisted. DigiNan did the best that he could. But
Give
the
Digimon his
place,
props.
that he took us was just
That's rough, buddy.
it was not good. It was not good. First off, we had a 7:00 reservation and we got seated fairly quickly. We walked in and we were taken right to our table. Awesome, cool. The server came right over, handed us the menus, and, asked us what we wanted to drink. All right, cool. Fast service there. They had a prefix menu and they had a regular menu, and both of us had agreed to try the prefix menu because that's most likely what we would have gotten anyway. And it was, I'm sitting there and I'm like having hopes and stuff because he said that he did all sorts of research on this place and they had great reviews and blah, 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 right? Yeah, no. First off, the first indication that red flag that should have been flying was as soon as we went to order the prefix, they told us that they were already out of items on the prefix menu.
On Valentine's Day?
on Valentine's Day at 7 p.m.
I was just gonna ask too, what
Jesus.
time was that? 'Cause
7 p.m.
then they
Prime time.
They must have had a lot of people earlier in the day.
I don't know.
I think so.
Most likely.
You know what's funny? I think I wouldn't be surprised that they had people coming in, or correction, maybe this year people start planning their Valentine's Day a little earlier because they already know how busy it's gonna get.
Maybe. And also it was on a Saturday night, so maybe they wanted to go and like just party all Saturday night.
Exactly, that too.
That too. But it's 7 p.m. and you're already telling me that your prefix menu, that you're already out of your one of your appetizers because they only offered 2 choices. And then you're also telling me that you were also out of one of your other entree choices. And there was only 2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So literally, it's just like either nothing or this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh no, it gets worse.
I can imagine.
It gets worse. So they had originally offered a choice for their entree, either something that was called Bang Bang Shrimp or baked clams. I wanted the baked clams. Can you guess which one they didn't have?
Baked clams.
Point for you, Crimson.
Ugh, that's the worst because baked clams is also a comfort food. I would have been really sad.
I
if,
was, and the
That's
reason why I didn't want the shrimp is because it sounded spicy, and I don't do spice.
That's true.
So
I remember making something for you like mildly spicy, and you were just like,
no, I was not
keep
that
this away
bad.
from me.
You kind of were just a little bit,
No,
just a little
don't you sit there and tell me I am what I'm not.
bit, just a wee,
No,
Just a Weedle?
a
just wee.
weedle,
Just a weedle,
just a
A
weedle,
just a weedle.
ladle.
Nice.
So, we ended up getting 2 orders of the shrimp. I tasted it, hated it. Diginan can't have shellfish, so he couldn't eat that
What?
appetizer at all.
He couldn't eat it. He couldn't even have it then.
Nope.
So then
Not
what was he supposed to have?
exactly.
Oh my god. Okay.
Exactly. So they turn around and they tell us for the second choice of the entrees, there was a choice of surf and turf, which was a piece of filet mignon and a lobster tail, or a 22-ounce porterhouse steak.
Okay.
Immediately tell us they have no more 22-ounce porterhouse steaks.
So filet mignon is.
Then why even like have it? I just
Wait. They did offer instead a ribeye, which if you ask me, I think is an upgrade from a porterhouse because I find it's a better cut of meat.
Okay.
So we're like, all right, that's acceptable. That's fine. Whatever. We place our orders. Now, keep in mind, folks, we're at about 7:20, 7:25. Okay? And we're sitting there, we're enjoying, having conversation. The appetizers came out super fucking fast. But then, tell us how we were sitting there until almost 9 o'clock at night and we still didn't get our food.
Oh, and you said you got there at 7?
We were there at 7.
So 2 whole hours waiting, and you didn't even get your entree. That is
No. Oh, it gets worse. It
That's
gets so much
crazy.
worse.
Jesus Christ.
It
Okay,
gets so
all right.
much fucking worse. People that came in after us, obviously ordered after us, had their food.
Oh my god, I would have been losing my fucking shit.
I was starting to get I get very hangry at after a certain amount of time, and I'm drinking because I had ordered a drink, and I don't normally drink. And they were like, okay, well, we're kind of really slammed in the kitchen right now. Here, have a free glass of wine. I'm drinking the wine on top of the vodka drink that I'm also drinking on an empty stomach. So I'm trying to pace myself now because I'm just like, okay, let me not, because I know how I'm going to be. I'm going to get sick. So we ask, hey, what's going on with our food? Fucking one guy comes up to us and tells us, oh, we had lost your order. What? We lost your order. Your
How do
order.
you lose the order?
Because there was a small brownout, and they claimed that it reset every single computer in the back, and everybody's order was lost. I go, how is that possible if they still got their food? Try again.
Yeah, they were full of shit.
Full of shit. So they finally rush the food out to us, and here's where this is where it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Filet mignon is supposed to be cooked rare, no matter what. It's supposed to be cooked rare. At the very, very, very minimum, you get medium rare, but you always have to have that warm red center.
Of course.
This was well done.
It hurts my soul to hear that.
It really did. Digi
That's
Nan's?
gross. It's basically charred at that point.
Oh, honey. Digi Nan's food was raw. His steak came raw. It was seared, but not like usually that's how I would eat it. Because I love that kind of shit. But he was so disgusted.
It would have been so nice to have a sound button for "It's fucking raw."
We can do that. Maybe one day.
Yes, please.
That would have been such.
I think that's on our to-do list.
So here's we obviously turn around and say, hey, you mixed it up. She's supposed to have rare. He's supposed to have medium. They rip our plates off the table, rush them into the back again. 5-10 minutes later, come back out. They give us our food. His shit is still fucking rare. My shit is still fucking well done. And now the lobster tail that they gave me is ice fucking cold.
Ew.
Gets worse. It was not even seasoned. It was not even seasoned. There was no flavor.
In the steak or the tail?
In the steak and the tail. They didn't even give me melted butter.
That's just.
No. I was so fed up. I was like, I can't fucking eat this. And I said to Diginan, I was like, I can't eat this. I'm sorry. I don't want any of this. The guy comes rushing over to our table. And Diginan is like, hey, listen, man, this is not acceptable. Like, you've made us wait almost 2 hours for our food. You telling me that you lost our food. Now you bring us out our food, not once, but twice, wrong. On top of that, doesn't even taste good. What the fuck game are you playing? And the guy was like, oh, well, do you just want your dessert?
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
And I look at and this is where, all y'all know Jade is not a Karen. I can be. I'm not. But I literally add into the fact I was drinking. I was starving. And the food was pissing me off. The people were pissing me off. And I was so overstimulated at this point that I took one look at the guy and I said, if you're serving me garbage like this, why the fuck would I want your dessert on top of that? I'm good.
Ooh.
I don't want your fucking food. Period. And I would like to leave. Now. Guy rushed over. Only charged Diginan for my drink. Comped everything. Because we didn't eat it.
Fucking should.
We didn't eat it. Keep in mind, now this is it is about 9:15 at night. We are hard pressed to figure out where the hell else we're going to go for food. He's trying to make it up to me. He's like, oh, do you want me to take you to your favorite Thai spot? So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's see if we can even get in there. I call them. I asked them if their table's available. They said, no, we're full up. We've had a ton of reservations. Okay, what about a pickup order? Oh, it would take about 45 minutes because the kitchen's really slammed. I'm like, I can't eat at 10 o'clock at night. So
Fair. I wouldn't be able to either.
I wouldn't. I was just like, no, I'd rather, at this point, I'm just like, listen, man, just take me home. I'll eat pizza rolls. I'm happy. Like, I put on pants for this? I missed Valentine's Day with the Feinics Gate peoples for this? No, I'm good. I'm good. I missed fucking Valentine's Day with Crimson for this shit. I'm good. Fuck that. So he, as a last ditch resort, turns around and says, well, what about your favorite pizza? Do you think we can, if they're still open, do you want to get your favorite pizza? And I'm like, are they still open? Yes, they ended up still being open, got us the pizza, but I was so tired and sick at this point, I only managed to eat one slice of it, and then I went to bed.
Well, I'm happy you at least got something, because that's crazy.
Hey, something's better than nothing.
I gotta give the pizza place fucking huge props.
They came in
Because
clutch.
not even just that, they turned around and told us that it would take about 45 minutes for us to get our pizza. They came in 20 minutes. Diginan explained what happened to the delivery guy. The delivery guy said, that is absolute fucking bullshit. I'm so happy that I could be of service to you. And Diginan gave him the biggest tip. And Diginan is the worst tipper, so that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that is on record as one of the worst Valentine's Days I've ever had.
And
That
it's
is
not even like anything
insane.
you necessarily had control over or
No.
Diginan either.
Exactly.
It's literally outside forces, which by outside forces, the restaurant.
Yeah, but you would also think that, but if you're serving somebody, you put a prefix menu out to get quicker turnover.
You would think that too, especially since like, yo, you guys have a, like you said, a pre set up menu.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you have a lot.
No.
You got 2 entrees, 2 appetizers,
And 2 desserts.
and 2 desserts. Like, it's not hard.
Mm-mm.
It's not hard. You're not, it's not like you're working at freaking Gordon Ramsay's like kitchen and you got like a whole plethora of like dishes like filet, special filet mignon or like a like any specific dish that would take you time to make.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not like I asked for a fucking Wagyu steak and chimichurri and all sorts of freaking crazy shit.
you didn't.
Oh, and then, that's the other thing I almost forgot to tell you guys. We had ordered broccoli as a side dish. Never got it.
Okay, but like, I'm not like, besides the fact that this place sounded like it was being run under a shit show.
Yep.
It's kind of hilarious that they couldn't even cook the meat and they forgot the one thing that they possibly couldn't mess up. It's very hard to mess up broccoli in my book.
Yeah, well, either way, ew. So that was my horror story for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
What about you, Crimson? Did you have a good Valentine's Day?
For Valentine's Day, I mean, I didn't really necessarily celebrate it on day of. I just chilled at home for the day of.
Yeah.
I just, you know what I did?
Slept.
Besides sleep, I also took care of a couple errands.
Yay!
Gotta be productive.
I think the only one of us of the gate actually that had a good Valentine's Day was you, Lav.
probably. I mean, and even the thing that wasn't like perfect, they got their cosmic karma and it made me feel really good as a, justice crap girly. But
Fuck
it
your
was
life,
really,
bing
really
bang.
great. And it was very nice for like the first time in my life to have a partner that like did something that was like about me and what I love to do and just showed that he really knew me and it like meant a lot to me. And apparently my mom had asked so she could tell my dad, and my dad's reaction was, "Oh, that's actually so nice."
That's awesome.
Because we actually went. I feel so bad that your restaurant wasn't good because we actually went to a really nice restaurant. It was kind of like a wine bar type situation, but it was like Ukrainian, which was really interesting. It was over in Queens, and it was great. I got to have my favorite rosé champagne. We got to get a little wine tipsy. They gave us so much cheese, so I was in like my happy place. It was all my fave comfort foods: rosé, cheese, and then they had a full like pierogi like sampler platter, which was so good. And then we went to go see Wuthering Heights, which I was very excited to see because I'm a huge Emerald Fennell fan. So I was very excited. And we had a great time at the movie. And I think probably the funniest was when we walked out, Ralph was like, "I don't know if I was the target audience for this movie."
No. Lav, you and I will have to do a nice little review of Wuthering Heights.
Oh, 100%.
We're definitely going to
Y'all
have to
know
be
it.
doing that as a small little reel and a TikTok. Obviously, we'll be putting that up on those socials. We won't be talking about Wuthering Heights here because I have a lot of things to say about that. And I don't want it to take away from the actual episode that we are doing.
100%. I mean, folks at the gate loved our How to Train Your Dragon episode. So maybe we do something similar in all the fun movies we've gone to see the last
I mean, we
week or
have.
so.
I mean, honestly, you and me, Lav, we have seen in the last week. It hasn't even been a full. Tomorrow will make it a week. It'll be a week.
Wait,
We've seen 3 major movies in the last week.
Yeah, we saw Dracula, Love Story.
We
We
saw.
saw Iron Lung.
Oh, so good.
I loved Iron Lung.
Yep.
And we saw Wuthering Heights, but on different days.
Right. So you and I can
But-
do a full on episode about those 3 movies if we like.
Oh, 100%.
And
And
then
what made it even
obviously
better-
Crimson will join in because we need to do a full episode
Exactly.
on Iron Lung alone.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I don't even think even like a portion of an episode would really give
No,
justice
Iron
to how
Lung
great Iron Lung was.
is so good. It deserves its own episode. And I'm gonna sit there and tell you now, Phoenix Nation, get your asses to the theater and watch that movie. Holy shit. Holy fucking, it was so good.
We love
I
you,
was
Markiplier.
impressed. Markiplier knocked it out of the fucking park with that movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I don't want to go on a tangent and talk about how good it was. We are going to bring a full breakdown of that movie to you in a later episode. And obviously, Lavender and I will be talking about Wuthering Heights and a Dracula Love Story on our social media. So if you are not following us on our social media, why not?
Where are you?
Where are you?
Are you lost?
Yes.
And I'm
And
so
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
But yeah. But that actually does kind of, considering how it kind of is a good segue into what we are talking about, considering how much
Yeah.
time we spent in front of the big screen this week, how over the years that smartphones and iPads and the computer and all these things that have developed into what they are now has caused what a lot of people actually suffer from, which is called screen addiction. People are literally addicted to the screen.
Crazy.
And the funny thing is do you remember as kids how our parents would sit there and say, "Oh, you're going to become a couch potato. You're addicted to TV."
Yeah. Well,
this is
I mean,
before we even had iPads and smartphones.
yeah, like my mom
I heard
didn't say that a
talk.
lot, but
You two are
you
younger
know,
than
they
me,
don't-
so you may
they're
not
so, like,
have gotten it
That's
as much
true.
as I did as a child. Because I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, I actually did sit down in front of my TV 90% of the time instead of going out and playing after a while.
Yeah.
And that was just because of my own neurodivergence. I didn't want to go outside because I just wasn't in the right headspace to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And there are reasons that I don't need to get into. Y'all don't need to hear about the trauma. This isn't a therapy session.
Yeah.
But
this isn't the Trauma Dump
You done
podcast,
goof.
or it could be.
no, not this one.
Emotional damage.
But I do remember growing up hearing how, like, you know, if you were addicted to your video games, you were, you know, a problem. If you were addicted to TV, you were, you know, it was a problem. But there was never a like formal diagnosis of anything like being screen addicted. Because also keep in mind, I am older than both of you. So I was around for the age of the internet. And a lot of people said that with the oncoming of the internet and all the websites that people had access to now, you know, with the World Wide Web and AOL and all that shit, as it evolved, that people were going to become addicted to their computers and never want to leave the house.
I mean, I might be younger than you, but I still remember hearing about that. I remember when the computers first came out. I remember using it.
No, I'm not saying you guys don't remember. I'm saying I probably may have seen it happen more in real time.
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't have smartphones when I was in junior high school and high school. Ours phones were flip phones that didn't have the ability to send we didn't even have cameras in our original cell
I'm
phones.
trying to remember when I had around what time was it when I first saw the smartphones.
I would say it would be the first Android, and that would be probably around when you were 15.
Most likely, yeah. So I was like at least in
High school. You
no.
would have been a
Yeah,
freshman.
I
No,
remember
that's not
at
true.
least having like an iPhone.
That's
Like
not true.
iPhone, there was the
because
iPhone Touch.
iPhone already had like their 5th generation or something by then.
When you were in high school?
Yeah.
Well, the first Android and the first iPhone did come out around the same time. I would say about 22, 23 at the time. You would have been 13. You guys would have been in junior high school when that happened. Because I remember the first smartphone came out.
Hold on, let's.
You're gonna look it up for me?
Yeah, while
Fact
we
check
talk,
me.
I'm just like,
Fucking fact check
I'm just like,
me.
wait a second, this
No.
numbers ain't numbering.
No, fact check me because I remember that the phone started evolving when I was in junior high school. It went from a simple flip phone, like the Razor phone, which was the highlight because it had a color screen and all that shit.
Yes, I had a Razor phone.
I still have my Razor phone. It doesn't work.
I had that in middle school.
Right.
Because when I was like 13, because I needed to, like, my school like made us like walk home from school. They wouldn't let us take the bus,
Yeah.
and my mom was like worried. So like that was the phone that I had. I had
Yeah.
the Razor phone.
I had a
And
Razor
then
phone.
after that, I
in
had
high
the
school.
NV.
Yeah, no, I had a Razor phone in high school, and before that, I had an ancient Nokia phone. Like the Nokia
Wow,
phone.
I
that-
haven't heard the name Nokia
I think the last
in a
one,
hot minute.
the last Nokia, I think I still have one too.
I do.
But I think the one
Does
that I used
Nokia
to have
still
before
exist?
that, I kind of threw it at somebody just to,
Just to see.
yeah.
Would no, but either way, I remember how cool we thought that the fucking Razor was because it had a color screen and you had that tiny little shitty ass camera in it, and we thought we were the coolest fucking kids. And then next,
2007.
thank you. Then Nextel came out. So then I was right. 2007. I would have been 25.
Yeah, but
Whatever. I'm not doing math right now. Crimson.
Math is too hard. We're not going to focus on that, Crimson.
no, continue.
You're hurting us.
Continue
She
talking.
wasn't
Give me a second.
ready.
No.
No,
She
you're hurting
wasn't
us, Crimson.
ready.
Math doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist. We've moved on to Nextel.
Right. Well, Nextel existed, and then also with the Nextel came out the BlackBerry. With BlackBerry came the oh my god, those flip side phones, the sidekicks. Sidekicks were a thing, and
Yes.
those had like the more advanced screens, the sidekicks. But still, you weren't able to be like, again, this wasn't something that you would have been fully addicted to because it didn't have the capability that our phones do now.
Yeah, you couldn't go on the internet.
Nope.
I think at the time, the only way I could get on the internet that was not on the family computer was on maybe my iPhone Touch, if I even had an iPhone Touch at the time, or the very limited like internet capabilities of the original DS.
Yes. What?
Because you could get YouTube on the DS, and that was the most you could do internet-wise, and there were some chat capabilities. But at least for me, that was my only access to the internet until like before that wasn't included in our big giant
Crimson's
family
giving
desktop.
me the ultimate smirk right now.
You were 22,
Oh, so I did say I was right. 22.
and I was 12.
Fuck.
But I still remember it.
You're lying.
I still remember it.
12 wasn't a good year for me.
Okay. Well, anyways, as we
Sorry, I just like I
we
just want
explore
I just
the
wanted,
age gap.
I wanted to just clarify the math because I was just like, wait a second, how old were we?
So keep in
Like,
mind.
wait a goddamn minute.
So keep in mind at this point, the only time that you've ever so I'm saying that it was probably a little bit more susceptible to you guys because you were younger than me and you grew up with the
yeah.
smartphone being more readily available. I did not. I definitely did not.
For me, in my case, it was even like social media. That it was the game.
Well, that's the thing. Here's the other thing. What you guys didn't realize because you were too young to know, Facebook was not available the way that it is available now.
Oh, I know.
You were only able to
Wasn't
get
it
a
only for
Facebook.
colleges?
It was only for colleges. You had to have a valid college email to have a Facebook. The
I
way
remember that from the movie The Social Network.
right, the way that everybody was communicating back then was Zynga, LiveJournal, and MySpace. That's how everybody was able to get in touch with everybody else if they weren't texting. Now, keep in mind also, the plans were very different back then too. You didn't have unlimited text. You did not have the ability to talk during the day. Every time, call me after 9 o'clock. And text messaging, don't even get me started on text messaging. Every text message cost you like 10 cents.
I know.
It was crazy. And you had a lot. Then they introduced the plans that allowed you to have a certain
It
amount.
was like unlimited, and then somehow it wasn't unlimited.
Yeah, it was so stupid.
It was so much. Now it's, thank God. Now it's even.
Oh,
It's where it needed to be.
Emotional
I
damage.
remember. I can't remember
I
how
literally
many
had
times.
to re-educate my dad on that.
yeah.
I can't count how many times when the whole unlimited messages and unlimited like phone calls thing started being a thing.
Which I think is the start of what would have caused the screen addiction that everybody has now. Because now you have that ability to constantly be looking at the screen in your
yeah.
pocket.
Oh yeah.
And then when we had the introduction to the first Android smartphone, iPhone, then a few years later, iPhone rolled out the iPad, the original iPad. That was the first
Yeah.
tablet. So now all of a sudden you have this big fucking tablet that you can carry with you. And it was touted as like, you know, better than the iPhone or just a companion or whatever. I don't know. I'm not an iPhone user. But this, I think, is what
Did the
started
iPad come out before the iPhone or after the iPhone?
after.
What happened?
The
Oh,
iPad came
why did
out
I think
after
it
the
was
iPhone,
before?
right?
Huh.
Because
I think the
always
iPhone
thought
was
they
the
did
first
iPad first.
product in their line.
Double-
No, Macs obviously were first.
Oh, yeah, well,
computers,
obviously.
But, but if we're talking
And
about
the
tablets,
iPods.
phones, and stuff
and
like that,
iPods and iPod Touch.
I think the iPods were first.
iPod came out first. Yes, it did. I know that. Then came iPhone and then the
tablet.
iPad.
Yeah, and then the tablets
Yes.
afterwards.
So, and this is what I think started what people refer to as the iPad generation. Because parenting, gets worse as we get, older or easier or whatever the fuck you want to say. And people would be like, just shove the kid in front of an iPad and let them go wild, go nuts, put a YouTube video on for them and they're happy. Am I wrong?
You are not
No,
wrong.
no.
And it's so crazy because, look, I've worked in daycare a long time. And it's interesting the way it like changed as, younger kids came in, right? Where, we actually had a slated time of the day because my boss, my aunt, tried to keep from having the iPads ever in the daycare because one, she didn't want any kids to feel bad if some kids had them and some kids didn't.
Yeah, because they were super expensive.
So there was exactly. So it was specifically like if you were one of the last kids there, you were allowed to use it when all the other kids left.
Right.
But at one point we ended up having an hour out of the day that was just so the kids could sit and watch YouTube videos.
Screen time.
Yeah.
I do
But it would be, we
remember.
would stream it to the TV.
Yeah.
But it was like that was their screen time that wasn't like regular TV.
Yeah.
Was we'd go outside, we'd come in, and for whatever reason, they liked watching these YouTube videos of cars crashing from like a video game. That was, obviously wasn't Grand Theft Auto. We're talking about toddlers.
Yeah.
But we would put it on and they would just like sit there and like be enthralled. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but I do
What is going on?
I remember hearing about how some people were saying, oh, I got to limit the screen time that my kid has in front of his iPad. And I was like, why? And they were like, oh, I'm afraid of him becoming addicted. I'm like, addicted to what? And they're like, I never understood it. I mean, and now I'm starting to.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, what the fuck is even happening? Like, what do you mean this
Yeah,
kid's going to be
because-
addicted?
Yeah, because back then it was just like, it's whatever. No, they're not gonna be. But now it's at this day and age now with the younger generation too of smaller kids. You see a lot more of like kids needing, and I say like they like need apparently like they need to be
On their phones, on their pad.
on their phones, on their pad.
Yeah.
Mostly when I'm talking about like the younger generation, I'm talking about like small, not like teenagers, whatever. Because teenagers would be a phone, but I'm talking about like the younger generation where it's just like a tablet, anything. It doesn't even have to be an iPhone, just a tablet of any kind. Like they
Yeah. And now they make all
need-
sorts of them.
Yeah.
just for kids.
Yeah, now it's at a point now where like these kids need like just to regulate themselves.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
No,
crazy.
it is like even with the older kids, right? Like, because admittedly, I was kikiing with my mom about Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, and like, I worked with kids for such a long time, and my mom works at a high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I even said to her, I was like, what is up with the generation after my brother Brendan? So to give context, my brother Brendan was born in 2002, and that's going to make us all feel really old.
Shut up.
I'm like, what happened after that generation? And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, Mom, I was sitting in the movie theater, and I'm like, look, if you got to answer a text, whatever. It happens, right? But we were sitting in the movie, and this group of people, they were so attached to their phones, they couldn't go more than one, like literally not even 1 minute of the movie without pulling the phone out, scrolling through Instagram in the middle of the movie, but with the full brightness on, which is why I was getting annoyed. Taking pictures for
Yeah.
their Snapchat of the movie with the flash on. And I was like, that's crazy.
I don't understand
And it's
it.
like, even my mom said, she was like, Kayla, that's why we have the rules at the school. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, we literally have to put a ban on the kids having their phone on them in any capacity in the school, because they will not only will they just stare at their phone the entire class. And look, granted, I went to a Catholic high school. You so much as had an inkling of a phone somewhere, it was confiscated within 0.5 seconds. But apparently my mom was telling me that's a huge reason they have the rule at the public high school she works at, because the kids will not only just stare at the phone, but their parents, and maybe this is where I get a little judgy, a lot of them want to be like their kids' friends. They don't really parent them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like they don't tell them at home, like, hey, you can't be scrolling through your phone when someone's talking to you, or hey, you can't just do whatever you want whenever you want to, because it's like insane
It's a
that
lot.
they think that like this phone and their addiction to this phone holds precedence. And I'll be honest, I even like, and I'm trying to find a better balance personally so I can continue making new content for the gate, even do stuff for myself, because it's easy to
Oh
get
my
addicted to your
God, Lavender!
screen.
How could you say that?
You're a monster.
How
I
could you
know,
say
but,
that
like,
you're
that's why I'm trying
actually
to-
doing that?
I'm trying to get myself to like reframe how I think about the phone, because I'll either think of it as just work and never want to touch it, or it'll be like I'll just scroll mindlessly through TikTok in the middle of the night when I know I should be going to sleep.
Yeah. So I don't
So
know.
I'm like, I need to view it in a more positive, constrained way, because to keep me from thinking, oh, it's work and it's giving me a goddamn headache because I've been staring at a computer screen for hours.
Yeah. I deliberately remember.
And also not a crutch.
I deliberately remember being told in high school when we were being taught like certain things that were at the computer, like typing and all sorts of fucking shit, coding, all sorts of shit like that. I deliberately remember them saying 15 minutes on the screen, 15 minutes off the screen, because you don't want your head to hurt, you don't want your eyes to hurt, you don't want to get eye strain. Like I deliberately remember being taught that in high school.
That's crazy.
I do not remember. I don't even think people see that anymore, which is why they like started creating the blue light glasses, because of the glares from the phones and the TVs.
Yeah, because everyone is on some form of phone or tablet, even as adults, because everything for work is through a computer or a tablet.
Yeah, you
like,
both
even
work
when
remotely.
I worked in the office.
Yeah.
You
I
I'm on a
do, and
computer.
even when I
I'm
did
also on
work
a
in an
computer all
office,
day.
they made you do Zoom meetings in the office.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the point of that if I'm in an office? It used to drive me absolutely crazy.
May I speak now?
You may.
Go ahead, Crimson. You wanted to say something.
Oh, just that was it.
Oh, okay. I was like, you're trying to say something. I'm sorry. But we didn't even say what the actual, like, okay. Screen addiction refers to the compulsive use of digital devices to the extent that it interferes with daily life. It is categorized under behavioral addictions and can have severe implication on an individual's mental and physical health. Now, that means that you have to be, now we're not talking like, oh, someone's just excessively on their phone. We're talking about someone that is so excessively on their phone, on the computer, on their tablet, on the TV, on whatever screen that they are looking at, that it literally prevents them from bathing, going to school or work, functioning in any capacity, eating, sleeping. Like, we're talking severe. That is the severe side of the addiction. Correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are warning signs that you should be looking out for in someone, especially if you're if we're talking about the younger generation here, we're talking about younger people. One of them is excessive screen time. This is now the most apparent symptom, obviously. It's the one that you're going to see. They're going to be glued where they're browsing social media, playing online games, streaming videos. If they're literally like the first thing they do when you wake up is grab your phone and check it, and the last thing you do before you go to sleep is you're on your phone or you're on a video game system or your tablet or whatever, that is considered excessive.
What if like that's literally the majority of your day is
Right?
not even looking at your phone, but you look at it in the morning and you look at it at night? I don't know if that would be considered.
I don't think that's considered addiction.
Yeah, because at that point, because it's just like it's a little bit different circumstances.
I don't think it's addiction for that one.
No.
Now, the second sign that you're supposed to be looking out for is a neglect of responsibilities. Screen time addiction often leads to neglecting important daily responsibilities. This could mean lower grades, poor performance at work, or neglect of household duties and personal cleanliness. So this is a red flag. Like, if you start noticing that, like, you would rather be on your phone than brushing your teeth and taking a fucking bath, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That is a big
Please,
problem.
babe.
That is a big problem.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
We don't like that.
We really need you all to bathe, please.
Yeah.
You know, this society is as strife as it is. Please bathe.
Bathing is good for you. We've talked about this. Another thing to look out for is mood disturbances.
Yes.
Pay attention to mood swings, especially irritability and restlessness that is related to screen use. People become agitated and visibly upset if they cannot use their devices or if their screen time is interrupted. Also, they can exhibit signs of depression or anxiety when they are not engaged with their devices, which can be indicative to underlying depressive symptoms as well.
Those first beginning parts that you just talked about, I literally just said when it came to the kids too.
Yeah, you did.
Literally, they'll have a full blown tantrum because they're not able to see.
Yeah.
Just because they're not able to see their Bluey or whatever.
Or whatever it is.
Yep.
That they're watching. Yeah. They'll
Or
lose
play
it.
their game or
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's so bad.
Miss Rachel.
Yeah.
They all love Miss Rachel.
Another thing.
No hate for Miss Rachel. I
No,
like her too.
no hate to Miss Rachel. But another thing that to look out for is sleep issues, which we were literally just talking about.
Yeah.
Overuse of screens, especially before bed, can lead to sleep problems. The blue light, which I literally just said, emitted by screens can disrupt the natural sleep cycle by suppressing melatonin production, leading to a difficulty falling asleep, insomnia, or unrestful sleep. If someone complains of feeling tired during the day or has altered their sleep schedule to accommodate more screen time, it could be due to screen addiction and inconsistent sleep patterns. Poor sleep can negatively affect mental and physical health, making it important to prioritize a healthy amount of sleep. Like,
Yeah.
not hard. Sleep is good, as my insomniac ass who barely fucking sleeps talks shit. I am a hypocrite. Don't do as I do. Fuck off.
Very valid. Like, sleep is so important. And as somebody who like lives with mental health issues, you know I'm doing real bad when that sleep is slipping.
Yeah.
Because Crimson and Jade can tell you I'm a pretty decently early to bed girly. I
Yeah.
like to be in bed or at least winding down by like 10:30.
You're an old lady.
I'm an old lady, and then I sit and read my book for maybe an hour, and I go to bed.
That's still not a
You know.
screen.
It's true. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it is, and sometimes I need to like stop myself and be like, why am I scrolling through these same videos? Like, what is this doing for me? Like, I have to go to bed.
Go to bed like a chicken.
Exactly.
You want to? We're gonna have Crimson read a couple more of these symptoms to watch out for, because that one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So another one would, I guess, would be considered like physical discomfort. Extended screen use can cause physical symptoms such as eye strain, headaches, and back and neck pain.
Literally what I said.
Yeah. If a young adult frequently complains about these issues, or if you notice them rubbing their eyes, squinting, or changing posture while using digital devices, excessive screen use might be the link to these behaviors. Yeah, I mean, I can also see a lot of the times, like, especially with the blue light, it does, it can very
I get
much.
headaches.
I don't.
Me
And that's
too.
just mainly because my lenses are meant for blocking already.
Right.
So,
yeah, but I
could-
get headaches.
Yeah, me in terms of like what I do for work and this, but that's the thing for me when I'm looking at screens, it's for work. It's not even like
Pleasure.
it's work is slightly pleasure,
Yeah.
but it really all depends on what I'm doing. But in most of the cases, I'm at least going through Zoom meetings and classes and stuff. But
Yeah.
if I'm working like on 3D models, obviously I'm gonna be working on a 3D model for a couple hours.
Of the window.
But all right,
So,
another one would
yeah.
another one would also be essentially would be social withdrawal. Screen addiction can lead to withdrawal from social interactions, also known as social isolation. Young adults may prefer online interactions over face-to-face communication.
I know I
or-
do.
Yeah, or they might skip social events to spend time engaging in activities on their digital devices, such as social networking. If you notice a shift from active social involvement to isolation, this might be an indication of that problem as well.
Yeah, but we also need to understand that could also be a very big indication of other underlying psychological problems,
Yeah.
not just screen addiction.
Oh no, of course.
I mean,
It's just more of just like it can be one of the causes.
yeah. What do you think, Lav?
I would say, like, I definitely, with the headaches, it's so real. Like, very similar to Crimson, I'm constantly on my computer for work. Like, I work remotely. So everything I do is on the computer, online, sitting in my chair. I'm supposed to be an ergonomic chair, but my back still hurts. And just staring at a screen. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Right now, I had to take two Advil right before we started the show because I was getting a headache.
Yeah.
No.
And I think it's totally because of I was sitting at the computer all day. And when I'm doing that constantly on a day-to-day basis, and because I'm still fighting this little like under the weatherness I've been having,
Yeah.
it's like even more susceptible to it. And it's no fun because those kind of like screen headaches, they're like it's like
I can't.
I would call them like worse than a tension headache.
They are, because honestly, I kind of feel like they just don't go away. Even with taking Advil or Tylenol or any of that, they just don't go away. And the only time that I can get them to go away is I have to sit in a dark room with my eyes closed for a good like hour or more, and then I just end up falling asleep.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So the final suggestion of what to look out for that could be screen addiction are the withdrawal symptoms. Now, someone who uses
Interesting, okay.
technology excessively may also struggle with screen addiction withdrawal symptoms if they have their devices taken away or have to go for a prolonged period without screen use. These withdrawal symptoms could include irritability, restlessness, anxiety, or difficulty concentrating. Or just a full-blown meltdown, as Crimson was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would say that's the one I've seen most often being in like the childcare space. I thankfully have never experienced such things because I just at this point I'm at my point in my life where I'm like I'm on it too much for work. I like don't even want to look at it half the time. But it's one of those
that's
things
rough,
that I'm
buddy.
like, it's crazy. And especially now with the introduction of like newer more interactive technologies like AI. I can
Ugh.
only see that getting worse and worse and worse.
Now, like everybody's like, oh, it's just screen addiction. Here are some of the things that screen addiction can legitimately do to your brain.
Yeah.
The prefrontal cortex is responsible for decision making and impulse control, and it is not fully developed in young people. The difficulty in managing impulses and resisting the instant gratification that is provided by digital devices can always affect individuals negatively. So you're literally fucking with your prefrontal cortex if you are addicted to a screen. You're preventing it from being able to develop properly. So that's one huge freaking downside to being having these screens in our faces all the time.
Yeah.
The another one is the instant gratification and the brain's reward system, which could also, really attribute to a lot of things, because I've noticed that as smartphones have gotten stronger, I do find that I myself do have this problem on occasion. And it is the digital devices provide immediate rewards through likes, shares, and comments, which is particularly appealing. For example, you post a photo on Instagram and you get instant feedback through likes and comments. This is reinforcing that behavior and encouraging continuous engagement. It's like
Not
giving...
gonna lie, it feels good.
Right. But here's the thing. It also can affect you negatively because you post something up and you
Yeah.
get no comments, no likes, nobody sees it, and all of a sudden you're worthless. Everybody hates
No,
you.
it's
You have no
true,
friends.
especially from like the cosplay space, right?
Oh, God.
Like, and it's even harder now that Instagram has basically like destroyed any form of getting real engagement. But like, especially when I used to post more of my cosplay stuff, and I want to get back into that, it was like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I would get ones and I would get all this great feedback and I'd feel so good. And, I'll admit, like, I would post a cosplay I worked really hard on and no one would interact with it.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna lie, it would make me feel a little like, oh, am I like, but also, that instant gratification sometimes gives negative feedback.
It does.
Like at the peak of my popularity on Instagram, I used to get some really mean comments
Yeah.
telling me that I was like, I look like a man. I didn't look like Daisy Ridley. I wasn't pretty enough. I didn't have like soft enough features because I have very sharp angular features. So people would make comments about that, especially when there were shots that were like closer up on my face,
Mm-hmm.
being like, oh, is that a guy cosplaying Gwen Stacy? And then being like, oh, oops. Like, so it's like a double-edged sword.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. The other thing that a lot of people, and this is something that I suffer from because I suffer from rejection sensitive dysphoria, is FOMO, fear of missing out. And because of the social media and screen addictions, the pressure to stay connected and up to date on social media, to be always available, the desire is there, and it leads to compulsive checking of notifications and messages. And it's like, it can really give you a strong sense of like just missing out. And it's not a good feeling to have. Like, prime example, Katsicon was this past weekend. And basically for me, it was I didn't really miss out on anything. I didn't really feel bad about not being there because I've never wanted to go to that convention. But I saw some of my friends were there and I was just like, "Aw." Like, it made me
Why am I
sad.
there?
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
It made me sad because I legitimately was like, "Aw, I wanted to be where my friends are." But I will never go to that con because fuck that con. But you
Valid.
feel me? You feel me
I
on
feel
this?
you. And sometimes you see things and you're like, oh, and even if it literally has nothing to do with you,
Right?
you're like, oh, why wasn't I invited?
Yeah, and it activates the rejection sensitive dysphoria that I already struggle with on a day-to-day basis, and it just makes it that much fucking worse. It makes it that much fucking worse. Then we have the other shit that can happen. You have academic and professional demands that you can blur the lines between what's productive and recreational. Marketing tactics where tech companies are going to use the algorithm and design against you so that you are
Yeah.
constantly stuck scrolling. Then you have mental health vulnerabilities, which I was just saying that the anxiety, depression, ADHD. You have blue light and sleep disruption, obviously, as I just spoke about that as well. And then you have doom scrolling and anxiety, which means that you will literally get yourself into some of these negative rabbit holes, especially on TikTok, and especially with the way the world is going today.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and you're just sitting there like, holy fuck! And you literally like this is not healthy for us. And unfortunately, there's no way to really combat it without fully giving up. But unfortunately, the way that the world is now, you can't. Hate it. Fucking hate it.
It's like a constant battle of just not only like attention, but also like in things trying to grab your attention, like from a marketing background. Like I can tell you,
Yeah.
we have back end data that's constantly telling us what you're looking at, how you're looking at it, which is why, and I know I've said it in previous episodes, and this will sound bad. I'm going to preface this. I thought the government suing Meta thing was laughable because we've been doing this for years. I was taught this in school. Like, this is a normal industry practice.
Yeah.
Whether it's right, like, honestly, like, the government just did it to make it seem like they were doing something, but they don't do anything.
No, they make
They
it worse.
use the same data we used.
They sell our
be able
fucking
to-
data.
Yeah, I mean, marketing companies do too, but
Yeah.
Everybody
government-
sells your data.
that everybody's selling your data.
Yeah.
And it was so nuts to me when they're like, oh, bad guy Mark Zuckerberg. Look, I don't like Mark Zuckerberg. But I was like, you were just doing this to find a scapegoat and put the attention off of the fact that everyone's doing it.
So there are ways that you can combat this. There is obviously setting boundaries around your screen time. That's a good way to start. You give yourself limits, and then you can also make what's known as a tech-free zone in your house or your apartment, where literally you can say the dining room is not, you do not bring your phone into the dining room kind of thing, or bedroom is a tech-free zone. Like, you take the TV out of your bedroom and you turn your phone on do not disturb. And it just basically like it forces you to engage unless you live alone, and that sucks. The other thing is like encouraging all offline activities like outdoor adventures, creative arts, sports and physical, fitness, volunteering, even mindfulness and meditation can really help combat the addiction that you have.
Yeah.
In any addiction,
I would
honestly.
say that is kind of like also crazy because, we have so many apps now for like meditation and mindfulness.
Yeah, but it still has
And
you
I
on
do
the fucking
find them
screen.
helpful. That's what I was going to say. Like, I do find them helpful. Like, for example, my work pays for a certain mental health app where you can use it to meditate. And look, I'm trying to get back into doing it every day because it was very helpful for me. And I'm trying to get back to some other types of routines as I've been getting settled in my new place and getting over this sickiness. But the thing is, you're still on the phone.
We have no problem.
Like, you're still reading it off the screen.
Yeah.
So it's really strange because it's like, yeah, I would love to just have these meditations like memorized in the back of my head. And it's kind of why my therapist, she teaches me certain things that I can do without there needing to be like a walkthrough tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's kind of like so much of our learning is dependent still on screens.
Yeah. But that's why they're also saying if you do have something that is like this, or a family member or a person you love that is like this, it is good to also use therapeutic techniques and treatment, getting professional help, group support, using mindfulness techniques, and modeling behavior. Like, you can set the example for someone else. Honestly.
Yeah, like it's good.
It is.
Especially mindfulness practices.
It is.
Because it forces you for every day, like eating an apple, you think about how it feels, how it tastes. It kind of takes you off.
Yeah. It is. Any final thoughts, guys?
I guess for me, like my final thoughts when it comes to this sort of stuff. Obviously, in this day and age right now, just not being on a screen at all for most people is just unavoidable.
Yeah.
but doing things more in moderation is probably a better way of going about it.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Like setting, like I even know a couple people too that actually do set their weekly goals for like screen time.
Really?
Yes. Where it's just like, I'm not trying to be on my screen more than like, I don't know, I'm going to throw out like a random number here. Like no more than like 6 hours of screen time
Per week?
on their phone.
Oh, okay.
TVs and stuff
Okay,
like
'cause
that.
I was gonna be like,
I'm not
work
counting.
is
I'm
8
not counting
hours, buddy.
TVs. I'm not counting TVs. I'm not counting.
Computer.
Computer, because especially if you gotta work, that's
Right.
different. That circumstances are a little bit different. But like in terms of like stuff like that, like social media, this and that, yada yada yada.
That's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I might actually start trying to do that, but then we have the Feinics Gate, so no. I have to live on the screens of something, whether it's a computer screen, phone screen.
It can even just be in terms of like screen time outside of that stuff though.
That is true. I can actually start practicing that to try to help break that habit, as Lavender was mentioning.
Most people's phones actually keep track of how long they've been on their screens. So
Yeah, they do.
There's small apps for that.
They do. What about you, Lav? Your final thoughts?
I would say, like, I have to agree with Crimson, like, it's almost impossible for any of us in a day to day, whether it be your job or whether it be how you communicate with friends, because there are some benefits. Like, I'm able to still stay really connected to my friends when I live down in Orlando because of screens. But at the same time, it gets very overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the idea of moderation is the most practical. And I think the other thing is we need to encourage, like, I'm not trying to, sound like one of those almond moms, but
Almond
we
mom.
need to encourage, like, kids. And, like, I loved how we did it at daycare. The way we encouraged the kids was you got a certain amount of hours outside every single day, did an activity, played. If it was too cold, we did a board game or we did coloring or Play-Doh. And this is just like obviously like a structured example. But we need to make sure that our kids are doing things other than staring at their iPads all day, because it's not healthy for them.
No, it's not.
And it's obviously not
damaging.
resulting. Exactly. And it's not resulting in, appropriate behaviors for children.
No.
It's making them anxious. It's making them nervous.
And it's allowing
And
people
especially
to
in a
prey on
world-
that.
Yep.
Exactly. And especially in a world where, like, a lot of these kids, their formative years were COVID,
Yeah.
when they were locked inside and there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So I think it really needs to become a matter of we're proactively also protecting our kids in this space and creating moderation for them so they can learn and then teach themselves from example.
Agreed. Like, my final thoughts on this were, like, again, I was a little bit older when the screen craze started. So I think that I was able to avoid some of the worst symptoms of it, but I do still suffer from my own personal screen addiction, because I'll admit, and Lavender and Crimson can confirm, my phone is never very far from my hand. It's just not. Like, whether I'm using it or I'm holding it or I'm talking on it or, I'm taking pictures with it, my phone is never far from my hand. And that's a problem. And I do know that. And I've been trying to get better with it. And, it hasn't gotten to a point where it's like starting to interrupt things, but I do find myself getting a little anxious if I can't check my phone, for messages or stuff like that. So I am recognizing the symptoms of an addiction in myself. And that's why this episode is so important to me, honestly, because while I avoided it in the early formative years, I am starting to experience it now. And I am so trying to not like have this where it's going to affect the rest of my mental neurodivergences, because it will, and it has. It will, and it has. So please be mindful, Feinics Nation. Just be aware that these this is happening. This is real. It's not something that we made up. It's not something that like we want to, you know, because the boomers say that it's not real. No, it's fucking real.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Boomers are probably some of the worst case.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Let's be real, okay? Like, just putting that out there.
I know. But if you or someone you know is experiencing any of the things that we talked about tonight, please reach out to a professional, about maybe getting them some help. Because one of the big things that I have noticed in all the time that I've been doing this is that screen addiction, being addicted to social media, all that stuff, it affects the mental health in such a way that it can cause someone to not want to be here anymore, and has actually taken people from us because of that.
Yeah.
So if you are experiencing that, please reach out. The Feinics Gate is always here for you. If you do not feel comfortable going to a mental health professional, there are plenty of hotlines that you can call, text if you're not comfortable with that kind of an interaction. But just reach out. Get help. Help is there. Help will always be there. You just have to look for it or reach your hand out.
Yep.
On that note, I'm going to say bye.
Yep. All right. Have a good one, guys.
We love you.
Love you. Bye.